did you get into recruiting in the first place, Aaron?
Kind of fell into it like most people. I was
Mhm.
doing personal training. When I first got into recruiting, I was doing training with a director from Aerotech
Okay.
and didn't know anything about recruiting, didn't know that he was kind of recruiting me as we were doing some sessions together. But we got to know each other over a couple month period, and he asked me what I was looking to do kind of long term. And I told him, hey, I want to be a CEO someday. I want to be in business. And of course, at the time, I had no clue what that meant. and, you know, he just one day came up to me. He's like, hey, would you like to interview with us? I work at this company called Aerotech, and, we do recruiting and staffing. And I knew nothing about what that really meant. But I had really started to look at him as a mentor and someone that I respected and looked up to. And I was interested and intrigued by that. So took an interview there and was blessed with the opportunity to work there. Had a great experience for about 18 months there. Just learned a ton and very grateful to everyone that mentored me while I was there.
Amazing. And then what was the journey of launching your very first staffing company at such an early age?
Well, the university of 2009, so I got into recruiting in October of 2007.
Okay, yep.
And the industry, people that had been in, and I think there's some lessons in this, but people that had been in would tell me that, like, oh, the industry was better before, like, back when it was busy, things like that. And I didn't know anything different. So I'm like, hey, like, we're making placements. I'm learning. My, commission checks are growing. Like, I'm advancing with promotions. Like, I don't know, but this is great. Like, I love it. And, we got to 2009 and I was about 6 months into a promotion in sales at Aerotech, and they consolidated 4 offices in the state of Michigan as
Okay.
the auto industry was struggling. And about a month and a half after that consolidation, they laid off 80 or 90 people, which
Wow.
our
Okay.
our office was, I think it was about 80 people. And so of the 90, I think there was like 5 people left from our office by the time that was done. Um, I was one of the people that was left, but I was demoted and I wasn't really fond of that.
Yeah,
And,
no kidding.
after, I have a different perspective on it now because I think the person that had that responsibility, which probably no one would want, had to go with who they knew. When you're consolidating 4 offices, a couple hundred people, you just don't have the time in 45 days to probably evaluate that. There's a lot going on. I just look at it a lot differently now and kind of understand that they were in a tough spot there.
I mean, it sounds like as tough it was as it must have been at the time, it was a blessing in disguise, right? Because, you've then gone on to bigger and better things and launched your own firm. So was that the like as soon as you went through that consolidation, like what was the thought process then to say, do you know what? I'm gonna make something, I'm gonna build something of my own.
It was shortly thereafter.
Yeah.
I was still getting my degree at the time, and I loved what I was doing. I looked at it like, man, I want to be at Aerotech forever. Like going in there, I didn't have this like plan going on while I was there to go off and start my own business. But once that all kind of transpired in about a 90-day period or so, um, it was all of a month before we started, our own firm. I started with another person that was there. We did industrial staffing.
Mhm.
My background at Aerotech was I would do some of that on the side, but it was more engineering based.
Yep.
And so industrial staffing was a different pace. And I was used to it because I would do it at night while I worked at Aerotech, but it was like full bore, all kinds of high volume stuff right out of the gate. And it was definitely different than placing mechanical and electrical engineers.
Right. Okay. Interesting. So, do you know what? I'd love to just dive into Spark Talent and learn how you've grown that over the last, 10 plus years to, a really successful portfolio of companies, because that's something that not many, firm owners achieve, right? There's a lot of stuff to learn. There's a lot of complexity. There's a pain barrier to go through. And I'd love to just pick your brains and see how much we can glean in the time we have left. Does that sound all right?
Sounds great.
All right. So what was the inspiration behind Spark Talent? Why, did you, because you already had a firm that you were a partner in, why launch another one?